Had a guy I used to work with, really cool guy named Justin. We used to call him Bully Shaw. What it do, Tube? It's that boy Smooth J. Check it out. I'm not in the happiest of moods today. Just around 6 this morning, I found out a friend of mine that I used to work with had been murdered. Apparently it probably happened last week or a couple weeks ago. He'd been missing for a minute. We don't really have a whole lot of details at the moment, but yeah, it's not the happiest of times right now, so I apologize if I'm not entertaining. But you know, I started thinking about when I was working with Bully. One of the standout times was something that was kind of like our movie. I'll tell the story. I mean, at least that's the one thing I could do is reflect on some of the things that we've been through together. You know, it's you know, the people that you've been in the trenches with, you kind of think about, especially when they're gone a little harder. You know, but, so this event that we had going on at the club, it was supposed to be a pretty tough night. And Bully hadn't been working with us in a while, but he was definitely brought back for this particular event. It was supposed to be a pretty, you know, heavy Latino, harsh crowd that was supposed to start fights and stuff. So we had a pretty decent staff that night. Let's just say it that way. And somewhere through the night, a fight breaks out on the patio. And at the time, our head of security was 6'1", skinny white dude, friend of mine. And I don't know if I've ever touched on this, but a lot of the Latino crowds that we have out here don't really want to listen to anyone that is white or black for that matter either. So he's the first one that gets there, and we get into the patio, and it's our one head of security and about 4 other people he's trying to break up a fight. A couple other guys got there, I got there, Bully got there. Now, Bully, when he first was working with us, he looked the part, as in he looked like he was a bouncer and he was gonna bounce you up out of there if you gave any kind of problems at all. But this time when he came back, he was more on his I guess you would call it his intellectual side, or he was more of a refined look this time. He had a suit and a tie on at night, and it was kind of like, and he had glasses and everything that night. It was kind of cool. We were kind of poking fun of him that night. But he shows up on the patio, and we're breaking up this fight, and some guy grabs Bully's tie. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, or if you've ever been in an altercation when you have a tie on, it can become a noose really quick. So this guy grabs Bully's tie while we're breaking up this fight and starts choking him. Bully comes back to the old Bully that we know that night, and we break up this fight. Let's just say it that way. We break up this fight, and we start dragging these dudes outside to throw them out the club. And we had our back entrance open, so we took all these guys out the front entrance. And we put all these guys outside after we had a little scuffle upstairs, and we put them all outside. All of a sudden, these guys start kicking the door. And we're all standing down there. It's me, Bully, another guard of ours, Carlos. There was a guy that was working there that night that wasn't really on our security staff, but he was working with the promotion. He was a huge Mexican guy. I forget his name, man. If I could remember it, I'll probably put it in the description or something. But it was all of us downstairs. It was like 4 of them outside, and we were standing there, and they just kept kicking the door. All of a sudden, the latches started to come off, so the door started to open. So I'm sitting there. I made the call to the head of security. I was like, "Hey, man, they're kicking the door. The door's open, and maybe somebody should stay to keep the door locked up." And he was like, yeah, but we need everybody back at their stations. So we're sitting down there, and these guys keep kicking the door and talking mess. And then I said, you know what? They kept on calling us out. You know, they're like, won't y'all come out here? Won't y'all come out here? I said, let's go out there then. And I still remember like it was yesterday, Carlos, another security guard of ours, he said, fuck it. So we started taking our jackets off. And when I say it was like a movie, it was just like 300 or something, because we opened up the door and Bully and this the big Hispanic Mexican guy, I cannot remember his name to save my life, but right when we opened the door, all you hear is Bully saying, "You're gonna keep kicking our fucking door." And Bully and this big Mexican guy kicked two of the dudes in the chest, and they flew into the street. Like if it was in slow motion, it would have rivaled 300, man. It was hilarious. And the other two guys, I ran one of them down. The other one got grabbed by another guard, and we held them all down. And we were thinking about arresting them just to keep them away from our property. But we ended up letting these guys go, and they went on about their business, probably with a story to tell. But that was, yeah, I had to tell that story. That was one of our trenches moments with Bully. And I kind of want everybody to see this, that at least knew who Bully was. I mean, you knew he was a strong individual, period, spiritually, mentally, physically. He's gonna be missed, man. That was not news that I was expecting anytime soon, man. It's like somebody who grew up with the rough life that Bully had, and amounted to what he has become and what he had planned in the future, what he could have been. You know, it's just a really sad day. It's not one of the things I usually want to talk about on Bouncer Talk, but these kind of things happen, and it wasn't a club situation. This was, from what I'm understanding right now, it was a murder. I don't know any of the details really, but this is just, you know, it's just not one of those things you really want to talk about. But I gotta reflect on the people that I work with when I can no longer tell them, you know, hey, what's going on? Because last time we talked, he was doing well, and that was all that really mattered to me. But yeah, it's just not one of those good feeling Bouncer Talks. So it's that boy Smooth J. Y'all have a good one. Deuce.